All right, we've talked about conservatives increasingly citing their right to religious liberty to defend using state property to proselytize, to disobey laws that protect women and LGBT individuals from discrimination. Whenever Christians put up a Christian monument, we have seen the Satanic Temple get out there and start handing out satanic materials, demand the erection of statues celebrating Satan, etc., etc. And now, this is brilliant, they're tackling anti-abortion regulations, which they say violate satanic religious beliefs. Satanists are rallying around Mary, which is the name that's being used, who is a woman that lives in rural Missouri. She needs an abortion. She's struggling to afford the extra expenses that are going to that she will be responsible for as a result of the 72-hour waiting period that the state wants to impose on her. Mary has the money for the abortion, but it would cost her a lot of money to travel twice to the only abortion clinic in the state in St. Louis. She would have to go initially to have an initial consultation, and that would sort of start the clock on the 72-hour waiting period. And then she would either have to travel back and forth again or pay for a hotel to stay there. And the Satanic Temple has raised money for Mary, but they're also going to present a letter to the abortion provider which says you need to make an exemption here on the grounds that as a Satanist, Mary believes her body is inviolable, and thus the waiting period imposes a substantial burden on her sincerely held religious beliefs. Her religious liberty, the argument is being violated by the 72-hour waiting period, which is imposing an undue financial burden on her. Now, presenting the letter to the abortion clinic is a little bit outside of logic for me, because this is a state-imposed waiting period. So really, I think that it's the state who should be the target of this letter. But doesn't this really show us that organized religion can be quite absurd, and that the argument of a sincerely held religious belief is one that is ridiculous, and this is really exposing that to us?
I think that's the point here, is to send this message. It's amazing that the Satanists are better humanitarians than a lot of these Christians. But what I like about this is that the Christians kind of have to acknowledge the Satanists because it's really just a counterpart to their own religion.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've talked to the more extreme Christians and gotten their views on Satan, and there's some pretty half-baked ideas circulating around there. Ultimately, I don't know what the state will say, and there is a track record of some who want to sort of distinguish. They want to create kind of like a hierarchy of religions and say that just any kind of what they describe as half-witted notion of what a religion is cannot or should not be taken as seriously as the real established religions. And that's a point of view that I completely reject. The state needs to be sort of agnostic towards religion. Either we respect so-called sincerely held religious beliefs without prioritizing one religion over another based merely on the number of followers that they have, or how much their views may depart from what would be considered kind of the average, the mean of all views, or we simply don't allow any exemptions for sincerely held religious beliefs at all. What the state cannot do, what it should not do, although many right-wingers want it to do this, is evaluate and rank religions as to how seriously they should be treated.
Yeah, that happens anyway. Regardless of whether or not there's anything on the books about it. Of course, Christians are prioritized in the United States as it stands.
Okay, next we are going to have another conversation around so-called religious liberty. Can atheists refuse to bake an anti-gay cake for Christians? This was sent to me by a viewer. This is going to be an interesting conversation. Stay with us.